Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome back to Guns Galore Month here on my YouTube channel. And this time we're going to a 2009 military sci fi action movie from director Mick G. I'm reviewing Terminator Salvation. That's right, not Genesis or Dark Fate, because I won't be reviewing those. I haven't seen them and I don't care. You ruined the canon and I can't do it anymore. At least this one is different than the other films. This one basically takes place in the future of 2018, even though that year already happened. It's a post apocalyptic film set in the year 2018. It focuses on the war between Skynet's machine network and humanity, as the remnants of the world's military have united to form the Resistance. Gee, does that sound familiar? Yeah, anyway, to fight against Skynet's killing machines. Bale portrays John Connor, a fully grown John Connor that's a resistance fighter and central character. Sam Worthington is a cyborg, which they spoiled in the trailer. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. And Anton Yelchin, may he rest in peace, he plays a young Kyle Reese before he gets sent into 1984 to find Sarah Connor. A character first introduced in the first one, yeah. And the film also depicts the origins of the T-800 machines. This film was decent. I know a lot of people have a problem with this being PG-13. Yes, I know. It's not as violent as the other movies. But it does have a lot of entertainment value. The fact that the storyline is different, it focuses on the war instead of the people talking about the war. And it has its own take. It has its own look. It doesn't copy the other movies like Genesis did and Dark Fate, where they're just like erasing the first two movies. This doesn't erase anything. It does its own thing in the future. This could have been epic. There was one thing in this movie that was missing, and you know who that is. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's only in a CGI cameo here, and it looks awful. Like, having that is like a slap in the face, because it looks worse than the CG in the Genesis movie. Only because that movie actually had Arnold in it. This doesn't, and I'm like, you can feel his absence. Bale's a good actor. He does the best he could with the material. But without Arnold there, it just doesn't feel like his franchise. It just feels like a spin-off, like Rogue One was for the recent Star Wars movies. It doesn't feel like Star Wars at all. It feels like a war movie, like set in the Star Wars universe, and it bored me to death. At least this movie is short, 115 minutes. It's under 2 hours. It goes by quick. I know there's a director's cut, but it doesn't really add much. They show Moon Bloodgood's bosoms. Like, she has a wet shirt and she takes it off and you see it from in the rain, and that's pretty much it. There's no gore or anything or any F bombs. And there's another reason I don't hate this movie. Remember when Christian Bale threw a fit on set for this movie? A lot of his anger shows up in the movie, and he overacts, and it's fun to watch. Him saying, "We are all dead," and I'm like, he's just having a ball. Like, he's screaming, and it's just fun to watch. Unlike the idiots in Rogue One and Force Awakens and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, where everybody is yelling, all these villains are yelling like, "That's enough, traitor, fire!" I'm like, you don't have to yell. I'm not freaking deaf. At least when Bale is yelling and overacting like this, and you think you're human, he does the Batman voice in this movie. It's like if Bruce Wayne was sent into the future to fight Terminators. It's fun to watch because he did this just after The Dark Knight, so he was still doing that raspy voice. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and he doesn't wear the mask, so there's no excuse here. But it's fun to watch that. Sam Worthington is boring. I will say that right now. He's not a good lead. Like, there's a reason he, after Avatar, he just kind of fell off the map and didn't do much. He's very boring. He's got that emotionless face that he has in every freaking movie. I haven't seen him in anything since Wrath of the Titans. He's a dull actor, guys. There's nothing about him that screams badass. You also have people that are wasted here. Like, I thought Common was wasted in the movie. He's barely in it. Helen Bonham Carter is like in a cameo, and she has a fake American accent. She's so pale in this movie, and this is not a Tim Burton movie, so I'm shocked she's doing something like this. Bryce Dallas Howard is fine. She's not horrible in the movie. She's better here than in Spider-Man 3 and whatchamacallit, the what was it? Jurassic World franchise. Yeah, those she's horrible. Anton Yelchin's a decent Kyle Reese. He does his own take on him. He's not copying Michael Biehn, and he's a better Kyle Reese than freaking what's his face, Jai Courtney. Yeah. Moon Bloodgood is Blair Williams, a no nonsense and battle hardened pilot of the Resistance. And guess what? She has more than 5 minutes of screen time, unlike freaking Rose Tico in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, they actually use her. Not a lot, but you get enough. Um, Jane Alexander's in the movie. She's Virginia, the leader of the group of human refugees. I don't remember her. Let me see who she is. Oh, she's the old lady. Yeah, she does a decent job. See the controversies. Yeah, let me hear the controversy because even that movie got controversy, and I don't know why. It's a woman with a badge that's overpowered. What's the problem here? And she can act, unlike your hobo. Controversy. During filming, Bale became angry with the director of photography because he was walking on the set during one of his scenes and he just lost his shit. And I know, I saw that. Also, they filed a lawsuit against the company, blank, blank, blank. Further complications occurred on May 20th, 2009, when executive producer Peter D. Graves informed Anderson and Kubicek about the Terminator rights, filed a breach of contract claim for arbitration. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and then the movie, it has a lot of good action. It's fast paced. It never gets too boring. The effects are really good, except for the CG Arnold. I think that looks like a cartoon. It looks terrible, guys. I don't know. Even people were laughing when they saw that in the theater. They weren't cheering. They were just like, "What?" He doesn't even talk. He's just like, mm, 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 mm. It looks like a cartoon. The film could have made a lot more money if Arnold was in it, or like I don't know, was not CG. Rotten Tomatoes are 33%. With storytelling as robotic as the film's iconic villains, Terminator Salvation offers plenty of great effects but lacks the heart of the original. Yeah, because James Cameron had nothing to do with this movie. He was doing his soulless, boring ass Avatar movie. And now, four sequels. We're getting four sequels after Corona's gone. Four. At least with this, it was one and done and it did its job. And yeah, I think it's a decent movie. It's not horrible. I rewatched it last year, and I'm like, Bale overacting is going to make me laugh. It's going to at least entertain me. When Donald Gleason is screaming in the rehash trilogy, it's not entertaining. It's just laughable. And Ben Mendelsohn, Levy, if you see this video, I'm going to share this with you on Facebook. This guy yells in every freaking movie he's in. He yells in Trespass. He probably yells in Ready Player One. He yells in Robin Hood. I'm like, dude, we're not deaf. You don't need to yell. Yelling is not intense. It's just overacting in a bad way. Keira Knightley does that too, and I hate it. I freaking hate it. Her and the hobo, they yell their dialogue. They can't just talk. They have to yell at the top of their lungs. And I'm like, oh my god, it's terrible. Like here, I can take it more because I can at least entertain myself watching it. Yeah, this guy gave it a decent review. He said the Terminator story recharges with a post-apocalyptic jolt of energy, frantic and full of welcome ties to the past. It also plays new ground with purpose. Exactly, it's not a rehash sequel. It does its own thing. It's basically if you took the first 5 minutes of the first two movies and you expand on that. Yeah, it's not bloody and violent like the James Cameron films, but it does its own thing. That's the only thing I could say about Rogue One. I hate the characters. I hate the freaking some of the effects. I hated the how long it was, but it did its own thing. They didn't have a bunch of Jedi's just cutting people up or blowing up a Death Star. It did its own thing, but it was boring. This I thought was a lot better. And I heard Bale's going to be in Thor or Love and Thunder. I hope he does good in that. I think the film looks great. Like I think that for what McGee had to do here, he did better here than in other films he's done. And it says it was intended to begin a new trilogy, but production on the fifth film was halted by legal trouble. I'm sick of legal trouble. We're already having problems this year, guys. You don't need to put your freaking politics into your freaking movies. Just come to an agreement and go with that. Have a plan. That's why the rehash trilogy failed in the last decade, because you had no plan. You made a trilogy just to capitalize on that. On that, and on that. You just made the original movies and you redid them and you try to make money off of it. There was no purpose except to make money. Tell a story that's original. Do your own thing. The prequels did that. This movie does that. The Shrek sequels do that. They're not copies of the first film. Do your own thing. Don't copy the original or the sequels. No one wants to see the same thing. Trust me, I know. This year, the biggest hits of the year were a Bad Boy sequel that's nothing like the first two. It's more brutal and more insane, and it tries to do more realistic violence instead of cartoonish like Michael Bay isms. And Sonic the Hedgehog, a movie based on a video game that was from decades ago that people still play. That's your two biggest movies of the year. Granted, not completely original, but they did their own thing. I like that. Genesis didn't do that. It's just they try to they try to recreate the first two movies, and they have a Sarah Connor that's a little girl, and an actor who can act that plays Kyle Reese, and then you have Arnold old and he keeps saying he's old, and then you have an Asian T-1000, and then you have John as a Terminator. How did that happen? How do we go from this, where he's a resistance fighter kicking ass and taking names, and then you have him be a machine, played by an Australian actor that can't act either, Jason Clarke? And then the recent movie is Feminism R Us, where you kill John in the first 5 minutes, and then the rest of the movie we don't care. With this, I sat through the whole movie. It's not amazing, but it's better than these last two movies. I can easily say that. And yeah, Michael Ironside was in the movie anyway. He was General Hugh Ashdown, the leader of the resistance. Yeah, it says Arnold's facial likeness was recreated with CG. Yeah, but it didn't look good. It looked really weird. It was like the CG Leia in Rogue One. It bothered me. Linda Hamilton has an uncredited voice, yeah, on a tape, on a recording tape. That was cool. It proves she's still around. We didn't care about Emilia Clarke. Her fake American accent and copying Linda Hamilton, yeah. Anyway, the film is entertaining. If you haven't seen this, I would recommend seeing this one or the third one. Don't even bother with Genesis. I know it's shit. The trailer was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. And the Dark Fate is not worth it. If you rent it and watch it and you hate it, hey, I don't say I didn't warn you. Oh, look who did this film. Sony Pictures releasing internationally, of course. They're the same asshats that wanted to release Morbius this year. Thank God that's not happening now. But yeah, but I'd say don't do another Terminator movie. If you're not going to do something different like this movie did, don't even bother because you're not going to do it better than the first two films. This at least knew that, so it went in its own direction. It did its own thing. It had giant mechs that were the size of Transformers. It had decent effects, decent action. Christian Bale overacting, but it's fun to watch. It does have flaws, like I said. No Arnold, you can definitely feel that. Some of the CG is wonky on the thing. The machines look great for what it is, and it's not too long. It wasn't 2.5 hours like Terminator 2 because you don't need that running time for something like this. You can go at 2 hours and 5 minutes. You don't have to go too long. Bad Boys 3 already proved that. You can have a movie that's 2 hours long and not make it too long. It's even. You don't have to like bore audiences. But anyway, yeah, I think it's underrated. If you haven't seen it, it's not going to kill you. Watch it on streaming if you can, or on DVD, or rent it through Redbox or whatever if you can still find it, because it's a movie that they give on cable a lot too. So I don't hate it. I rewatched it on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I'm like, this is entertaining. It's not horrible. I don't know what people were expecting if Arnold wasn't in it. You knew it was going to be different, and I got that. I got what they were going for. Unlike Rogue One, where I was bored out of my mind. And it's PG-13 too, and they can't even show blood. Here, there is some blood. And in the unrated version, in the director's cut, extended cut, there's some boobs. We never got that in Force Awakens, and we never will now. But anyway, there's plenty of guns in the movie, so it counts. There's machine guns and semi-automatics and freaking shotguns and whatever. It's awesome for what it is. And, it's worth your time. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not even the worst sequel. Because I'm like, compared to other movies I saw that year, they were way worse. You had X-Men Origins Wolverine, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, plenty of bad movies. But this one was one of the lesser, like not a great movie, but a lot better than those. And it was shorter. I didn't have to sit through 2.5 hours of family drama or stupid comedy. This movie barely has any comedy, which is good. Just Bale overacting is the comedy there. So take it for what you will, but see it if you want to watch something while you're home. I want to rewatch it again. It's been a while. It's been like almost a year now. So that's my review for Terminator Salvation. Because I refuse to watch the other two. I'm not interested. A fifth movie where you erase the first two movies and try to do, and then you try to do your own thing but fail and have a freaking foreign cast. I told you, not the biggest fan of foreign actors. If you get Bale, at least give me something to make me laugh or smile. And Dark Fate, you get a bunch of women, not against women, obviously. I saw Captain Marvel guys in the theater. I saw Wonder Woman in the theater. I'm gonna see Wonder Woman 84 in the theater in a few months. Fuck Corona. I don't care about it. There's nothing it can do to me. I've been through worse than this. I saw. I'm gonna see Black Widow in November. I saw the Avengers sequels with all the women and Ant Man and the Wasp. I can go on and on. I saw Bridesmaids. I saw freaking. I'm not against women. I'm not anti-woman. I'm all for women. But if you're gonna shove an agenda in our face, it's not worth filming. It's not worth putting that on film, guys. Ask my friends that saw a Dark Fate or freaking Charlie's Angels last year or Black Christmas from 2019 or even Rise of Skywalker. Don't tell me the movie's not pandering because your lead female can't be touched. No bloodshed, no doesn't lose a limb, doesn't even get her period. She just is perfect and nobody can touch her. Yeah. Well, the franchise is dead and so is your character. So screw you, hobo with a stick. But anyway, that's my review of Terminator Salvation. I hope I go on tangents because sometimes I want to let out this frustration I've had for months. So being stuck here. But anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.